Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I'm sharing 10 healthy things that you're doing wrong every day. Maybe you're not doing all of these 10 things wrong, but these 10 things, I really am excited to talk about them because I think that they're just enlightening and just another perspective. And I hate disclaimers, but of course I need to say I am no doctor. I'm not even an expert. I do think I've, read a lot and done a lot of research about this, but with all of that said, please take my not advice, but my opinions, I guess, at your own risk. You know what I mean? Like, you can completely disagree with everything that I say, but this is what I think, okay? So I hope you enjoy this video. I think a lot of these 10 things will come as a surprise to you, quite honestly. So let's just get started. So number one, the first healthy thing that you are actually doing wrong, and maybe not you specifically, but I know there's people watching this video that do this, and it's not the worst thing in the world. I just think you're missing out. And that is only eating egg whites. If you eat egg whites, like an egg white omelet, whatever, like, it's not terrible for you. Like, I don't think that's bad, but I think you're missing out on the very most nutritious part of the egg, which is the yellow yolk. There are so many vitamins and minerals and antioxidants and just so many nutrients packed into the egg yolk that when you remove that part, you're not really getting anything. And I know there's the argument to be said about cholesterol, and so that's again where you can make your own determination there. But as the years go on, there's a lot of studies that kind of debunk that. But again, I don't want to get into that. I'm going to put a chart here on the screen just kind of showing the vitamins and minerals and antioxidants and everything that's in a yolk versus just the egg whites. And it's not even comparable how many good things are in the yellow yolk. So if you eat eggs, I think you should keep the whole egg. That's the way it was meant to be. Number two, thing you're doing wrong is eating gluten-free foods. Can you believe I just said that? No, okay. Hear me out on this. I truly believe, if you eat gluten or you don't eat gluten, that's whatever you think is fine. I personally don't think gluten is good for us. So if you do have, a gluten-free diet, I think that's great. But the problem comes in when you just buy whatever says gluten-free on the box, because a lot of times, if you don't look at the back of the box, there is so much sugar and sodium, way more than normal foods, in the gluten-free foods, because they're trying to mask the bad taste, essentially, because when you take out the gluten, it kind of removes a lot of the flavor. So manufacturers add a lot of sugar and sodium content to kind of make up for that. And so, I really try, or at least, from what I read, it seems like under 25 grams of sugar for the entire day is really what we should be aiming for. And in some of the gluten-free foods, it's for one piece of food, it's beyond that. And it's, yeah. So anyway, that's another thing to consider. Gluten-free, I think, is good. You just have to be careful with what foods you are actually eating. Okay, so this next one, again, it might come as a surprise to you, but it's just something to kind of think about. And that is chewing gum. You might think it's a healthy thing because, it might clean your teeth, or it, might prevent you from eating food. If you're really hungry, I'll just chew a piece of gum instead, and that'll kind of satisfy my urge. But the more and more studies that are coming out about chewing gum, it can actually release digestive fluids in your stomach, because when you chew, it releases signals to your brain that you're eating. So it starts to release digestive fluids in your stomach, which can actually lead you to be even more hungry than you originally were. Not to mention, you're using up all of the digestive fluids for gum, so then later when you do eat, you don't have as much fluids in there as you should. Another thing to consider is, with gum, there is the sugar version, which, years back was a lot more popular. There was, Big Red, all of the classic gums out there that had sugar in it. And people started realizing, oh, this is really bad for your teeth. So then there started being sugar-free gum. And with that said, I think it's better for your teeth, but it's just filled with artificial sweeteners, which is really bad. So anyway, it's just something to consider. I feel like a piece here and there is totally fine, but if you're one of those people that's just constantly chewing gum, it might not be so great. So the next healthy thing that you probably think you're doing that might not be so healthy is showering too often. And I know people probably think they have great hygiene when they're showering in the morning and then at night, and it's just great, but our body produces natural oils and bacteria, like good bacteria on our skin that actually prevents us from having dry skin. So I think people, if they're just constantly, showering and using washes and stuff to get off all of the stuff that's kind of supposed to be on our skin multiple times a day, that can actually lead to really dry skin and maybe other skin problems. But I think that's why we're slathering our bodies with so much lotion. Our bodies kind of know to have oils and natural oils, and we need to kind of let our body do its job in a way. So again, I am definitely not saying don't shower. I'm just saying don't do it too much. Okay, so this next one could kind of be considered controversial, okay? There's people, probably with all of these, there's people that disagree with me, and that's fine, but it's soy. So soy is known as being kind of like a health food, and I do think there are some good vitamins and good things in soy. However, for females, it can actually be not good. And I'll tell you why. And most of my audience is female based. I think it's like 96% of my channel is females. I think if you're a guy, you can probably get away with having a lot more soy in your diet and it's not really going to affect you. But soy does have something called, I think it's isoflavone. I wrote it down. Isoflavones. And it's like an estrogen-like compound, and it kind of messes with our hormones, in our body. So there's so many studies showing that it can actually promote cancer growth. It can mess with our thyroid, and there's the thyroid epidemic. So many people have thyroid issues, especially females do, so much more than even 30 years ago. It's off the charts. And then there's something else it does. It messes with your, fertility. That's what it is. It can really mess with your fertility. So anyway, if you are eating tons of soy and you're a female or girl or woman, whatever, maybe just, look into it. See what you think. This next one is something I actually kind of just learned on my own, and it's just different for everyone. So this one, you could be doing totally right for your body, but for my body, and I'm sure some other people, forcing breakfast can actually not be so healthy. I know everyone says that, breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and I truly believe it is for some people. However, if you wake up not hungry at all, I would actually say it's good to listen to your body. You don't have to immediately eat. You can have some water. I think it's good to hydrate yourself after you have been sleeping for so long. But if you're not hungry, I don't think you should force food into your body. It's kind of good for your body to, repair cells and focus on, doing that in your body than digesting food if that's kind of what your body's telling you. And then once you feel a little bit hungry later, then yeah, go for it. Eat breakfast. So again, it's all about listening to your body. So the next healthy thing you might be doing that might actually not be so good is buying cheap supplements. So I know some people feel like they don't need to take vitamins or supplements, and that's fine. I personally think my diet, I just don't get enough of the vitamins and stuff, so I do like to do that. But if you're buying cheap supplements from Walmart or something like that, there's just a really good chance that the supplements are full of fillers and artificial versions or synthetic versions of the vitamins and minerals, and therefore you might be taking it, but it's not actually being absorbed into your body. So a good example of this would be folic acid. When you take a prenatal vitamin, you want folic acid. It's really good for the development of a baby. However, the real version of folic acid is folate. So if you buy a good, high quality supplement, it needs to say folate, and then you'll know oh, okay, they're actually, putting good ingredients in here. Folic acid, it's a sure sign that it's not a great brand. They're kind of taking shortcuts. The next healthy thing that might not be so healthy is just using too many cleaning products. I know having a clean house is a healthy thing, that's good. However, if you're constantly breathing in terrible cleaning products, I really think you're doing more harm than good to your body than having a clean house. So, if there's a terrible situation, yeah, we gotta bust out the hardcore stuff, that's fine. But I really think water and vinegar goes a long way. I also absolutely love my Thieves Cleaner from Young Living. I'm not saying you have to like Young Living, whatever, but my Thieves Cleaner is so good. It really cleans well, it smells amazing, and it's all just natural essential oils. I love it so much. So I can link it down below, no pressure at all. I really think healthy cleaning products it's so important. Okay, so this next one, I know you've heard before, but it just has to be in this video, and that is artificial sweeteners. I know there's so many people out there that think they're being healthier by having a Diet Coke instead of a regular Coke because it's less calories, you know, it's better for them that way, and it's just, I'm telling you, artificial sweeteners are so bad. They really mess with your bowel flora. They actually make you feel hungrier. They give you this sense of hunger so that, you know, you think you're consuming less calories, but then later you end up wanting more food and more cravings. It's just a vicious cycle. And again, I know you've probably heard this before, but another reason I wanted to bring it up is because I'm starting to see that brands are kind of using artificial sweeteners in the like breakfast bars now, and it'll say like low sugar or no sugar, and people are like, oh, this is a really healthy breakfast bar, and then they don't read the ingredients and it's filled with artificial sweetener. So it has low calories, no sugar, it sounds great, but it's just really not healthy. So this next thing actually really is healthy. Like if you do this is a really healthy thing to do. But you might be doing it wrong. And that is adding lemon to your water, but not using a straw. You need to use a straw. So if you add lemon to your water in the morning or at night or whenever, it's super healthy. Like it really flushes out the toxins. It helps to balance out your pH level throughout your whole body. But before it goes into your body, it is very acidic. We all know that. So if you're not using a straw, it really can damage the enamel on your teeth, like really bad. People have said, like, there's just so many horror stories of that with lemons and apple cider vinegar, because both are like a good thing to do for your body. But you know, lemon's a lot easier. I think it's good. It's natural. It's great. But use a straw. Just use a straw. So that does it for this video. I really hope you liked it. If you didn't agree with everything or anything, that is totally fine. I just thought I would share some things and you can do with it whatever you please. So thank you again for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and consider subscribing if you are new. And I'll see you very soon in my next video. Bye.